You are one of the restless dead. No longer bound by the mortal coil, you have slipped into what lies beyond. But there is no peace in death. You have things to do, unfinished business to take care of. There are many dangers, many obstacles keeping you from completing your task in the afterlife, and one of those threats are specters. Hello, and welcome to another lore video about Wraith the Oblivion. Spectres are wraiths that have, in so many words, given in to their shadows, the aspect of a wraith's personality that wants to see the wraith fail and succumb to oblivion. When a spirit accumulates too much dark emotion, its shadow takes over permanently and it becomes a spectre. In the process, the wraith forgets about its old tethers, friends, and ideals, which keeps it from achieving transcendence, the state where a wraith accepts their death and moves on from the underworld to whatever existence waits beyond. Spectres roam desolate parts of the world of the dead thereafter, minions for oblivion. Their humanity and former identity are replaced with a truly evil, sadistic personality tied into a massive hive mind. The hive mind is one of the dark arcanoi, specialized spiritual abilities fueled by angst and oblivion, used by specters to remain in communication with other specters at all times, allowing them to form a sort of collective intelligence. All specters are a part of the hive mind, but not all can manipulate the mind for knowledge and communication. In Wraith the Oblivion, the labyrinth is the interface between oblivion and the underworld. As many things are in the underworld, oblivion is both a concept and a physical entity, and the labyrinth is that area surrounding the physical location that comprises oblivion. Oblivion destroys meaning, coherency, and self, and the labyrinth reflects that. It is an incoherent maze, infinite in size, composed of the fragments of the living world. Plasm-painted walls, writhing corridor ceilings, and blinding light that distorts all one can see are but a few of the things waiting for the wraiths who find themselves down there. Every soul it consumes adds new images to the ones it knows, so it is ready for anyone who will find terror from them. The labyrinth resists rational attempts to understand it, but specters are not burdened by this hindrance. To specters, the labyrinth is home. Spectres are often described as suicidal, and some are, but many are merely single-minded, driven, and unyielding. Destruction now or destruction later is just a matter of time. The end of all things, including themselves, is a certain fact. They have no capacity for the denial of death. The brevity of the average spectre's existence and the ceaseless gnawing hunger of oblivion have taken much of their reasoning. Hunger underscores every moment of a spectre's existence, and it makes many of them who inhabit the labyrinth quite volatile. For the restless dead who wander into the labyrinth, there is no avoiding the consequence of the relentless hunger and hate of the specters. So why would wraiths willingly brave the labyrinth? Well, there are a handful of reasons, some of which we will go into in greater detail in future videos, but simplified. Certain groups of wraiths, such as the Doomslayers, are chosen and dedicated to exploration and battle in the labyrinth. They may have any number of tasks, from simple labyrinth reconnaissance to capturing a specific spectre. When the restless dead see a group of specters, their morale suffers deeply. Shaking their psyches, the reflection of a wraith's soul and state of mind at the time of death, is one of the reasons swarms of specters work so well when it comes to fighting intruding forces. Everything a spectre does to one of the restless dead when given an opportunity to terrorize them aims to scar the psyche, empower the shadow, and bring about a harrowing, surreal passion plays intimately tied to a wraith's sense of identity. Unlike a unit of restless dead, specters don't have the unpredictability of each individual wraith having their own ideas, experience, or breaking point. Using the elements of surprise and the intruder's ignorance of the labyrinth, specters can make short work of many wraiths who thought they could invade the labyrinth unscathed. The low visibility in the labyrinth gives specters an advantage to take wraiths unawares, with the units of the restless dead realizing too late how many of the enemy have circled them. Among specters, matters of free will can be shoved aside when a spectral commander directs them. Specters appear to fight as one because they do. More than luck or brilliant strategy, a Spectre officer's rise to power hinges upon its ability to efficiently control other Spectres during violent conflict, because a loss of control makes victory unattainable, and because the Spectres in their command may be so deeply in the throes of hunger that they devour their commanding officer at the first opportunity. To control is to survive. With survival, the road to power can be open to them. A Spectral officer must be cunning, manipulative, charismatic, intimidating, and exceptionally hard to destroy. If one aspires to become one of Oblivion's great generals, absolute command of the soldiers and mastery of multiple dark arcanoi are not negotiable. There are many types of Spectres residing in the underworld, but these are some of the most populous. Doppelgangers, also known as the Shadow Eaten, appear much like normal wraiths, but are recognizable as the Spectres they are because their shadow is always visible in their eyes in some manner. Doppelgangers retain fetters, allowing them limited access to the Skinlands, where they wreak havoc among the living and threaten the fetters of other wraiths. Shades are among the most powerful of Spectres. They were wraiths who were thrown into the Tempest, the ocean of the underworld, or lost themselves during a harrowing. Their fragile psyches are completely destroyed by Oblivion, leaving only their shadows, full of hatred and dark passions and permanently in control. Their method of creation gives rise to their nickname, the Children of Oblivion. Making their home in the Tempest, Oblivion has caused the Shades to become monstrous in appearance. Feral and bestial forms are common among Shades, as are demonic, skeletal, or torn-apart masses of tissue. Even though Shades were once wraiths, Oblivion has stripped their fetters away, making it difficult, if not impossible, for them to move in the Shadowlands or Skinlands. Mortwights are spirits of those who died extremely violent deaths. Their rage and anger towards their death causes them to awaken in the Shadowlands as Spectres, never existing as a ghost. Many Mortwights had dark natures to begin with, and some believe they were destined to be Spectres from birth. Nephrax are former human spirits turned Spectres, that is to say, they were once ordinary people in the Skinlands, living miserable lives and were quick to fall to oblivion when they came to the Shadowlands, toughened and tempered through years of exposure to oblivion. They are greatly feared due to being many times more powerful than even the most powerful Wraith, and for being bound in service to the neverborn. Malfians, also called neverborn, are great forces of darkness and destruction, bringing suffering, evil, and terror wherever their influence touches. For the most part, however, they are a force unseen and felt only through their minions and servants. They are Spectres that have spawned from a primal force and can direct other Spectres and Oblivion to destroy and devour. Luckily for all, the Neverborn spend most of their time asleep in the labyrinth, waking only once every few centuries to bring catastrophe to all the world. In the next Wraith the Oblivion lore video, we'll discuss more aspects of the Spectres, specifically the cults they may or may not belong to. Remember, Restless Dead, life can get worse after it ends.